Welcome, everybody. Let's get started. And again, appreciate the little extra time you spent here waiting. But I'm Don Runge, and I do want to thank you all for being as part of this training webinar we're going to have. And a big thank you to Jason McClellan and his insurance advisory team, and his insurance advisor direct. Let me make sure I get that right. And they put this webinar together for you all today. And if you have any questions on products or anything to do with product type things, call the 1-800-381-0977. I think you'll be excited if you've never worked with them before. So today, we're going to be recording this, and we'll also be sending you a copy of it. And so you don't have to worry about that. It'll be out automatically. Now, there's a few things I want to do before we start. It'll be with you within 24 hours of the recording. An exclusive offer for you all at the end there. So please stay tuned because we don't want you to miss out. It's only going to be available for 48 hours. If you have any questions at the end, please save them to the end, and I'll try to address as many as I can. But I'll be assure you, if we can't address them today, I'll make sure you get the information back. I'll either call you or send you an email back. So we'll make sure we cover everything we can. A little bit about me and my background, just in case you don't know who I am. I've been in business now going on 50 years. And again, my name is Don Runge. I'm known as the lead guru in our industry. And one of the things about us, I'm married. I have 3 children. We have 7 great-grandchildren. As you go back into this thing today, I think you'll find out that I'm just like you all are. I started out in the business working in the college market and working in life insurance, went into the health insurance business. I got into consulting practice about 25 years ago. And so my background has been working with, we live in Plano, Texas, by the way, in case you want to know. So if you want to come someplace warm, come to us. You don't have to go to the Bahamas. So everything's warmed up today in Dallas for you. And our suburb, Plano, is about 22 miles north of Dallas. Now, as you go through this, we have a fast start education program also. So anybody that needs to get people licensed, we have a program to do that. We also have an arrangement for CE programs, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not the important part today. As you go here today, the special offer will be right at the end. I think you're going to enjoy it. If you really are not a good note taker, and we're not going to cover a lot today, you'll find out there's some great training tools online, either CDs or DVDs that you can purchase at a discounted price that'll really help you with some of the things we're going to talk about today if you really want to improve your special prospecting or telephone appointments or front door appointments or whatever. So I think that you're going to find out here today, we're going to talk about prospecting strategies. And I think that prospecting strategies are great. And I used to work with companies with bankers and physicians. If you name a senior marketing organization or insurance company, I've probably worked with them over the years and still may be working with them now. And I only say that to you because I want you to know that our background and my background is mainly in the senior market. And I call that anybody from 50 to 80. So in going through this and talking about it, and I'm doing a lot of the things I'm talking with you about today and sharing, I do live. I just came back and we've now done a total of 15 appointment setting workshops live. And we've set over 3,100 appointments just contacting the basic turning 66, 67, 68 call list and turning 65s. So I'm doing this on a regular basis, a weekly basis. So the information I'm going to show you is very pertinent. It isn't something that's 25 years old. So one of the first things in a prospecting strategy in the senior market is don't just buy leads and start to call them. You really want to take a minute to determine where and where you want to work. Where can you cluster your activity? Because you don't want to go drive 20 miles for one appointment. You really want to have a lot in the bucket. You want to cluster your activity. Think about what you see on TV, what you see online. Determine the best time to call. Start to fill your mind and kind of get this mind shift away from product and get it into prospecting. There's a big difference between the two. Product is the end result of a good prospecting activity. If you don't have enough appointments, it won't matter how many products you sell or what price you have. So the main thing is determining what you're going to say. That's a critical issue. We had a session yesterday, and we just changed a few words in the dynamics of their approach. And all of a sudden, we start booking appointments. In fact, one of our greatest successes, we had 25 agents, and we scheduled over 325 appointments with a call list in 5 hours. That's when everybody's telling you can't reach seniors, you can't call seniors, they won't respond to the telephone, there's not that many phone numbers. And these are a scrubbed list. So identify some of the key buzzwords that seniors use. When you hear it in the newspaper, or you see it in the newspaper, or you hear it on TV, or you're on the internet, and you hear buzzwords come out like retirement, rights, options, talk about alternatives, marketing alternatives. Think about power words, buzzwords. So when you're in there talking to people, they'll flow very easily. One of the things we were doing yesterday was really getting people to respond with not using insurance terminology. That's for the house. So as you're going back in this turning 65 mindset, exciting. The seniors are already ready. They're confused. They're going to see a lot of literature. And really important is they haven't made a financial decision on insurance in a long time in a lot of cases because they had group insurance. So they must buy this medical insurance. They know they've got to buy something. So it isn't a function of are they interested in buying. It's an interest in sorting out what the decisions have to be, who they can trust. And money really isn't an important issue at this point. Let me go back. If you've sold major medical insurance before, and somebody was about 64 years of age, I'll use my example. My premium, and I only went to a physical once a year, was over $1,100 a year with a $10,000 deductible. My spouse, Maria, hers was $928 with a $10,000 deductible, and she went for a physical once a year. That's over $20,000. You can go find the highest price Medicare supplement policy in the country on a Plan F, and it's not going to be $400. So when I went and changed over to a Plan F or to a Plan G, I saved a ton of money, which allowed me to free that money up to cross-market and buy other products. But I didn't know what the cost of health insurance was because I didn't even look at it for years because in a lot of cases it was payroll deducted on a group plan. So you're paying some of the highest premiums at age 64. So when you go into that senior market, the mindset you must have is, I'm going to help you buy more with less. I'm going to help you navigate through this healthcare retirement. And you're not going to pay and go broke. All this stuff you hear, all this energy we get on TV, all this stuff you see on television and hear about all day long, how healthcare is terrible, nobody can buy it, they can't get it. A lot of it is because people really don't understand what they're getting for their money, in my opinion. They really don't understand what some of their rights and options are. And this is important because it is a great deal. You know, there's a Medicare crisis going on. There's a Medicare healthcare crisis. If you're not using that in your terminology, I think you're missing out on some prime power phrases. There is a healthcare and a retirement crisis, but more importantly, the first crisis they're going to deal with, which is near and dear to their heart, is a healthcare crisis. Why? Because they've lost their insurance. They don't want to go without health insurance. They want to have that choice of doctor or hospital. They've had that. They love that group plan that they had at work. If they had one, they enjoyed it. They didn't realize that the company was probably paying 25% of the premium. And they were still paying $650, $700. They just didn't realize it because they don't talk about it a lot. It comes out automatically. So that's some of the challenges we have and some of the advantages. Key event in a senior's life. It's an event. They're going to have to make that. They have two birthdays that particular year at 65. Their chronological birthday and their healthcare birthday. And they get a free ride at 65 health-wise, as we all know. So there's a lot of mindset things you can do. Shift away, not so much about the product, but shift into the mindset of, I'm going to help you make an easy transition. I'm going to help you leverage more of your dollars that you're spending on healthcare. I'm going to get you more benefits for less money. Very similar to your major medical plan in most cases. I'm also going to free up. We're also going to show you ways of using the money you've freed up to make sure that you can take advantage of some of the extended healthcare options that they don't know exist since they've retired. Because once they retire, all those options basically are not exercised. For life insurance or for additional health insurance or for cancer or dental, they don't realize what they had in that group plan. And they're not really knowledgeable enough to know what options still exist when they do retire. They just start to panic about this crisis that they're involved with because everybody's telling them how costly it is, how bad it is, how they won't have choice of doctor or hospital. So they get into this mindset that's very defensive. So you must have an offensive mindset. You've got to let them know it's better than they think it is. So create a sense of urgency. That's what I'm really saying. And to do that, I implore you to consider using a marketing approach when contacting the seniors, not a selling approach. The selling approach is starting to quote premiums and talk about product over the telephone, et cetera, et cetera. If you're not telemarketing over the phone and have a telemarketing app, and you're going to someone's home or they're coming to your office, then I really suggest that you think about developing your approach in a marketing way. I call it market your way in, sell your way out. Too many people try to sell their way in and they never get back out. They never get back in. They may just get kicked out because people don't like to be sold, but they love marketing. Think about TV ads. Think about TV advertising. It's marketing. People love marketing. Look what they do when you go on the internet. It's marketing. Amazon, great marketing company. Starbucks, great marketing company. McDonald's, great marketing company. So use a marketing approach. Don't try to pre-qualify. They're automatic turning 65. You don't have to worry about being qualified. They're already qualified. You just have to be qualified to make them feel comfortable, and reduce some of their fear factor so you can get in front of them and sit down and help educate them and help them navigate through this healthcare retirement crisis. And then you'll be able to talk about the retirement crisis if you want. So those are important elements. There's a sense of urgency from this standpoint. People want to get covered and get it over with. They want to make that decision and put it behind them. It bothers them when they can't figure out how to make that decision, and they really don't want to make the wrong decision. Too many people are scared to make that decision. They don't know who to confide in. What do I do? What plan do I buy? Gee, I see all these plans that are out. There's A, B, C, D, E. They think they're going to go through a 26-step alphabet decision. It's a simple process. One of the things I ask you to talk about is use common language. Ask them if they want the limited plan or the unlimited plan option. Ask them if they want a plan that's got all the benefits you had in your group plan. Ask them if they want choice of Dr. House. Ask them what they want in their plan, and that'll identify what plan to bring forward to them. Don't push a plan, in my opinion, to them. Ask them what they really want and explain to them what they can get. And after that, they'll make a decision. But if you just tell them this is the plan, then you're really pushing a plan on them rather than asking them what kind of plan benefits do they want to satisfy that need that they have. And so that's really a little bit different approach to a lot of people. You let them know the decision they're going to make is time sensitive, because they're going to get this time sensitive. It's not open enrollment. It's not really a free health insurance ride for a whole year or 2 years. They've got this limited period of time. And the decision they got to make is time sensitive because it changes all the time. Every year there's changes. Every month it looks like there's changes. The government's in a battle right now to make major changes. Got a lot of people uneasy right now. Advertising is telling people you're going to walk with 26 million people won't have health care. When people get that afraid and they believe everything they hear in the news, they start to panic. They don't know who to trust. So let them know that you're a trusted advisor to them. And again, their health care is going to be subsidized. It was subsidized by the company they work for. Now the government's going to subsidize it. So I'm not paying 100% of the true cost. So let them know they're going to get a good deal. This isn't like something like, I apologize, a little bit expensive. It's not expensive. When you look at what they were paying for their group insurance or what they had to buy individually before they turned 65, that's expensive. This is not expensive. And they've got more money freed up at 65 than they've ever had before regarding their benefit program, because they've lost all their benefits. So they have more money to deal with making their healthcare decisions. So don't make it cumbersome for them. Make it simple and easy. Now, there's one thing you might have forgot about. I don't know if you ever read the Medicare and You book. I don't know if you ever gone through that booklet. I mean, you might have looked at it. If you're a senior like me, I read it. I read it because it always excites me to find out what it says really is very little is going to be covered. Some states, like I was just in Florida, 152 pages to tell that person that you're basically going to get a little bit of health care coverage, and after that, you're on your own. It doesn't do a very good job explaining what an MA program is versus a Med Sup program. It just gives definitions. So the government sends this booklet out and expect people to read the booklet. Now, on all the surveys we've done over the last 15 locations that we've been doing in these workshops, I make sure the agents make a note on every call that they make, and we ask them the question, Mr. Jones, I'm going to ask you one simple question. Do you remember getting the red, white, and blue book this year from the government? They go, what? It's kind of called the Medicare and You book, or Medicare and You. No, we have 96% of all the seniors we ask that question to say, and if they're even 66 and 67, not just 65, have said, no, I never got that booklet. Now, it's important to bring that up with them, because that was the book is what the government produces that is supposed to help that senior make decisions about their health care and other extended health care options. Most of them say they didn't get it, they probably threw it away. And if they did read it, they wouldn't understand it anyway. It's 140 some pages in some states, 120 pages, to tell you definitions, where to call for I-Security 800 phone number, how to get a hold of Medicare. It really doesn't help them understand the differences and their choices in plain English. So now you've got a real added marketing tool that you can use to your advantage and correct advantage. The material, by the way, is complex and confusing in the mind of the senior. It is complex and confusing in the mind of the government, because that's the original statement they made when they first came out with the Medicare and You book years ago. It said very bold print, you're going to find this material complex and confusing. And the next sentence they made this statement said, after you read this, you will not know what Medicare pays or doesn't pay. Is that crazy or what? And then they further said, if you're like most beneficiaries, we, the government, recommend you buy some. That was actually the disclaimer statement in the Medicare book in the front page, when it was only 40 some pages. Years later, it's 100 and some pages, and they took that statement out because they know it's complex and confusing, because they added 70 or 80 more pages. So this is the mindset you have to have. Understanding to the senior, this is the dilemma they face. We know it's complex and confusing. We know it's hard to understand. That's why they need somebody who's a trained professional that can explain their rights and options and entitlements in plain English. That's where you and I come in. So this is critical to have the right mindset when calling. And in that booklet, it talks about seniors' rights, options, entitlements, and limitations. These are buzzwords. These are power phrases. These make your presentation sing. This helps you get appointments. This gives you credibility. When you say rights, options, entitlements, limitations, people listen. They start to listen to what you're talking about. But if you said, hey, I got a great plan F, it's only going to cost you $480 a month or $310 a month, they get turned off. They panic. They get scared. This is not a marketing approach when you're doing that. Now, I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong. What I am saying is if you want to enhance the ability to get more appointments, to build more relationships, you need to use more of a marketing approach. They want to know benefits. They want to know choices. They want to know flexibility. Too many times you just say, hey, you check the box off, you want this plan, here it is. I don't know if that's the correct way to do it in today's society. People need to make choices, in my opinion, based upon somebody who can explain what their options are and let them choose what options they want. You want a hamburger? You want lettuce? You want tomatoes? You want guacamole? You want mayonnaise? You want to have French fries on it? They want to know what the choices are. They just, yeah, I know it's a hamburger, but they want to dress it up. And some people say no, like my grandkids, you know what they say? No, just give me a hamburger, nothing else on it except a bun. People need to know their choices before they make their decision. And by the way, if I don't add guacamole and all that stuff to the hamburger, the price is still the same. So people want to know that. And I know we haven't been trained that way in the insurance business. We've been trained to show them a product that's packaged, here it is, and here's the price. So this is something in a modern day generation we might want to consider. Another simple way from a marketing standpoint to address the seniors in your strategy is ask them a simple question. 8th grade language. Mr. Jones, are you looking for a partial health care plan or a complete plan? And they're going to look at you strangely and say, what do you mean? Now they're interested. Now you've got their attention, because there are some plans that have less benefits and less flexibility, and you know what they are, than the other plans. And people don't have a problem with paying for it. They just want to know what they're getting. And a lot of people, they don't care the price at all unless you bring up price. See, they'll talk to you about cost, and cost is different than price. Seniors are programmed to ask everybody, what's this going to cost me? They're not worried about the price. They just have to ask the question about cost. These are simple things, but very important. Here's an example of a short script. Now, I left off the introduction because I assume you know how to introduce. But if you called somebody and said, hey, Mr. Jones, this is Don Runge. I'm a licensed professional with XYZ insurance agency or company. I just have one question to ask you. Do you remember receiving a red, white booklet from the government? They're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. 95% are going to say no. We already know that. Again, we've been doing this now for 5 consecutive months, hard at it, thousands and thousands of calls, 3,200 plus appointments set. I'm using exactly what I'm showing you here. And again, my job, Mr. Jones, the reason I'm calling you, my job is to get with concerned seniors in your area to go over your rights, your options, and your entitlements as stated in that government booklet. Now, they're going to go, whoa, wow, I didn't know. And by the way, Mr. Jones, if you read the booklet, you really wouldn't understand it anyway. So I won't read all of it when I come to you, but I'm going to point out some key areas that are very important to you in helping you navigate through this healthcare crisis that's going to be around for some time, unfortunately, or fortunately. Now, I don't have a lot of time. I hope you don't have a lot of questions. I'm going to be here on Tuesday at this time and Wednesday at this time. Which is going to work best for you? We do this, Mr. Jones, and I'm telling you guys right now, and gals, this works phenomenal. Works phenomenal. And they don't have many objections, and we only use one rebuttal. Mr. Jones, that's great. Listen, I'll address that when I see you. I'm going to be in your area anyway. So as again, Tuesday better at this time or Wednesday. I would suggest to you, don't say, well, is it okay if I come out on Wednesday? Is it okay if I come out on Thursday? If you give them all those kind of options, they're going to think you're unemployed. Be like the doctor's office. I have this opening and this opening, and I work by appointment. Which one would you like? Don't say can see him anytime. Don't suggest that I can see him Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. That means you don't have any appointments anyway. Why would they want to see you? So the Willow condensed appointment I mean right now has generated over 3,200 appointments already just on a call list. And this is even the 66 and 67, 68, 69s, and 70s. So if you want to increase your appointment activity, if you want to have less resistance, if you want to have less objections, if you want to have more rapport, if you want to penetrate the list better, I'm making a suggestion to you, since you're part of this training webinar today, that this has merit for you to consider. I'm not just making this up like I did this 10 years ago. This is live. I did it yesterday. Did it on Monday. I'm doing it again next week on the West Coast. Then I'm going back to the East Coast. This works, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I know it's more simple than you're used to. We're not qualifying people who's already qualified at 65. I just got to get qualified to get in their home. So these are important issues. Now, handling objections. I don't think, again, you don't have to memorize all kinds, but in case you're the kind of person that likes more fancy answers to objections, or what I call spontaneous responses, that means when they say something that makes no sense, you don't have to make any sense either. I'm being facetious with you a little bit here. Yesterday, a couple of people said, well, I'm really not interested. I said, Mr. Jones, I'll try to be interesting when I come there. I understand your concern. And if I'm not that interesting and I'm boring, ask me to leave. Now, you might say that's corny. It works. Now, Mr. Jones, I said, well, I already got a plan. Mr. Jones, you buy the government or non-government plan? I'm not sure. When I come out there, I can cover that, as well as go over your other rights and options spelled out in your Medicare new book, and talk about some of those other extended healthcare options that might still be available since you're retired. You don't want those to run out before you know they're available, do you? No, they'll be out there Tuesday at this time or Wednesday at this time. So there's lots of things you can do. Mr. Jones, you want to be covered in state? You don't care about that, or you want to be covered out of state? Or that doesn't make any difference. Does that matter? Help them understand what their options are and the plans that you offer. Let them know the differences in a very nice way without reading the Medicare guide to them. That would be a suggestion. Okay, that's some basic stuff. I'm boiling it down to a real basic program. And I'd like you to really think about what we call today. Now, you might not have taken a lot of notes, but again, we told you all that we're going to make you a special offer. A lot of what I've just gone over is in our what I call 5-hour training DVD or CD. It's in a format you can use. It covers lots of different areas. It covers everything about prospecting. It covers everything about leads. It covers everything about a phone appointment, a door knock, how to handle it, objections, all kinds of, it's a bachelor's degree in prospecting and having the right mindset or strategy. And we'll make you guys, we told you all we'd have a special offer for you, and I think you're going to enjoy it. It's normally $119, plus there's other shipping and things you can do. Today it's $59. It's a 48-hour offer only. It's $59. We offer this once for 48 hours, and that's it. And so if you do that today, you can sign up. You can get that. There's a user code called Guru59, and you said that, and I'll tell you you'll enjoy it. And you can see our other products, but this is a basic program that you can use for years to come that'll go in more detail than what I've done. So look at the HTTP, leadguru.com/product/webinar 59 special. It's because of Jason and his organization that we're able to offer this to you today. We thank them again. I think they've got a great organization. So if you haven't worked with them, you might want to look at what they have, a great product portfolio and great service. So with that in mind, what I'd like to do for y'all, if you don't mind, is open some questions. And I may not get to all of them today, but I'll try to get to them before the week's over for sure. So if there's any questions, now's the time to go ahead and text them, and we'll go ahead and take care of that for you. I got one to go. By the way, I do have one here. Somebody said, Don, what do you do when somebody says, I already have it? Good question. If you didn't have it, I couldn't come. Now, you're going to do that if you're going to talk about more than one product. If you only sell one product, you may be stuck. But if you did more, when they said, I already have it, great, Mr. Jones, that's the reason I'm calling. Now, you may say that's corny. No, whatever they say to you, that's the reason you're actually calling them. So, Mr. Jones, that'll help what I've got to talk to you about even go faster and smoother. I won't have to be there that long unless you got more questions. So that's a simple way to combat and neutralize what I call spontaneous responses. Oh, another one came in and said, I got it right, let me read through. Maybe I should put my glasses on probably. But another one came back through and said, Don, when you're working and turning 65s, do you ever get into other products? I don't really get another product. I focus on not product as much as I do focusing and getting in the home. If you get in the home, what you're going to have happening is you got a chance to sell me. If I don't get in the home, I have no chance. So my job is to get in more houses, cross more doorsteps. So I don't use a lead as a product lead. I really use a lead as an opportunity or an excuse to start a conversation to get into people's homes on a positive basis. Then I do my fact finder, however you do that, and then I go in to identify other options that they may have that they don't even know are available. So that's kind of what I would suggest to you. Everybody's got a different style. Another one came in and talked about the fact that, well, I can't get people in during the day. I would say there's certain times to call seniors. We have found that we're calling from about 9:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning, and we're calling to about 5 o'clock at night. All the numbers I gave you, that's when we schedule those appointments. Some hours are good, some hours are slow, some hours are really powerful. We can't tell because there's no way to tell when people are going to be home. But the myth is you can't call people during the daytime. We've dispelled that myth over and over again in the last 5 months. That's a mindset problem. It's not a real call problem. Now, if you want the power hours, it's probably 9 to about 10:30 most parts of the country. It's again about 5:30 to 7:30 at night. And then it's Saturday morning from 9 to noon, the best times to call to get the most contact with people. Those are the best times. Another question came in, Don, is there a bad time to call? Yeah, I wouldn't be calling 9 o'clock at night. I wouldn't be calling at 8 o'clock in the morning, be violating some of the protocol on when you should call. So I said, do you leave phone messages? I'm not very good at it. Some people are. I'm just not. What would you say? I'm Don Runge. I sell insurance. Would you call me back? If you do it and it works, keep doing it. If you don't, just understand I didn't catch it the right 30 seconds. I'll call you back again. But do note when you made the call so you don't call back at the same time again. Basic logic. Okay, that's a few questions we had. We promised to keep it to about 30 minutes today. Again, thank you to Jason and his team and his fine organization for helping us sponsor this seminar today. Don't forget about your special offer. It's only good for 48 hours. And you got the Guru 59 special offer button. So take advantage of that. I guarantee you'll enjoy it. It'll be really beneficial to you. You won't say, I wasted my money. I will guarantee you that. And you got a real good deal on this one today. If you have any other questions, text them. I'll try to get back to you. Look at the offer. I don't make this offer very often because, again, 50% is kind of a pretty good deal. So thank you again for being here. Thank you to Jason and his team. And I'm looking forward to hearing some other, getting some other questions in the future. Have a great day.